Okay, good. So you said 15, you said 14, but we will see. We will see. We will count as everybody will tell us the names, the pronunciations of the letters. Remember, we said you need to focus two things as far as the consonants and letters are concerned: the pronunciations as well as the shapes. The pronunciation of each and every letter is different from the rest. So the 28 letters in Arabic, or the 28 consonants, each and every one has different pronunciation. There are no two letters that are pronounced similarly in Arabic. So they are all pronounced differently. So that we need to focus on the pronunciation and the shapes. The shapes. We said a number of letters may have the same shapes, but of course they can be distinguished by the number and the dots of letters. The number and the position of the dot, sorry, the number and the position of the dots. Now, if we may start with group 1, how many letters did we have in group 1?
5.
5. Adim. Five. Tell us those 5 letters.
Ba, ta, tha, na, and ya.
Good. That's good. That's good. So those are 5 letters in group 1. Okay. Group 2. Can somebody remind us? Group 2. How many letters were in group 2? Or in group 2? Mm-hmm.
3.
Yes, for those are 3. Which are these 3?
Ja, ha, kha.
Good. Ja, ha, kha. Ja, ha, kha. For those who are new today, remember we said in our previous class, for you to qualify to have attended the class, you must participate. So it's only the participation, through the participation, that we'll know somebody was really in class or not. Because a number of students may just sign in and then disappear. For those who are new, participation, if you are in class, you participate. So it is through that participation that will mark you present if you participate, and will mark you absent if you do not participate, because this is just virtual, we can't see. So somebody can log in and just go to attend to his other business or her business. So good. So number group 2 are ja, ha, and kha. Good. And group 3?
There were 2.
How many are there here? 2, yes. Which
2.
one are these 2?
Sa and sha.
That's good. Sa and sha. So 5 plus 2 plus 2, that is 9, right? Okay, sa and sha. And group 4? How many letters were in group 4?
There were 2.
4.
Yes, Hamdi. Which one are those?
4.
There are 4.
But yeah.
Which one are these 4?
Sa, da, and da.
Well, so are they same?
Nope.
There were
Yes.
2.
Which one are these 2?
Swa and da.
Swa and da. That is Muniru, yes. Swa and da. Swa and dot. And group 5? How many letters are in group 5?
Two.
Which one are these 2? Adim?
Ta and za. Za.
Bo and the. The. Bo and the. So how many are those now? 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2.
14.
14. Good. So the number of the letters we discussed are 14. Good. So that is, and remember we said here we are discussing the isolated positions of the letters. Remember we said the letters have different positions: isolated, initial, middle, and final position. And we are saying isolated because a number of letters may change their shapes depending on where they are positioned. So that's why we are saying initial position or isolated position, because a number of them change their shapes. Good. So that is group up to group 5. Wa and the were the final letters we discussed. Remember, we also said that some letters are not in our mother tongue. That's why sometimes we we see them difficult in pronouncing, because they are not in our mother tongue. Like dwa, wa, va, ha, see, kha sometimes. But again, we said with practice, we can perfectly pronounce them. So we practice until we get the right pronunciations of these letters. Now, let me see if, has anybody of you revised writing these letters? Of course, we did in class, but you are to also to rewrite the letters. Good. So let's proceed. We discuss these other letters before we go to the writings. Do you see the slide?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So this is wa and the. These are the last one we discussed. Wa and the. Wa we say like طيب, طه, right? طلحة, طالب, the. That's another letter. Remember we said the. You see the difference between these two is only this. This one has a dot and this one is dotless. Now let's see number 15. This is a. Let's see how it is written. This is how you write. You start circle it. That's how you write. Right? This is a. You see C. It's given C. Remember we said this is called phonetics. It's an international way of writing alphabets. So it's a. For example, you say Abdi. Abdi, that is a. All right. You say Abdullahi. You say Ali, Aisha, Abla, Alia. I can see those names even in the list, right? Is it Imad? Shah?
Yes.
Imad, right?
Yes.
Yes, it's Imad. So that is letter A. It is A. A. So when we're pronouncing, make sure you pronounce A like Ali. It's not Ali, right? It's not Aisha. It is Aisha, Ali, Abdullah, or Abdi, right? Uthman. So this is letter. It's pronounced A. Again, it's among the letters that are not in our mother tongue. That's why we say Abdi. You know, when a letter is not in our mother tongue, we tend to push it to the nearest letter that is found in our languages. So, for example, if there is no A, there is A. So you say Abdi. There is no A, you say Aisha. Because Aisha, that alif or A is closest sound that we can get in our languages. So this is A. Adim, how do you pronounce it?
Ah.
Yes, Alia?
It's a.
Yes, Ramadan. Al-Hilal. Ramadan? Yes, what is this? Faraz? Yes, Aisha? Asiya, sorry, Asiya.
A.
Yes, Fardosa? Hamdi?
It's a.
It's that's good. Yes, Joseph.
Ah.
Uh-huh. Mohammed Ahmed,
Ah.
Muniru,
Ah.
Riaga.
Ah.
Did I pronounce the name right?
Yes, you did.
Yes, Ruwaida.
Ah.
Shah.
Ah.
Maina Ted. Ted Maina. Yes, Musa.
Ah.
Okay, so that is remember we said you can also name the letters. We have the names Ain. If you have to name the letter, you can call it Ain. Ain. So it is A. Remember we said like Abdi, Abdullahi, Aisha, Ali, huh? And the rest. So this other one is Gha. Gha. CGH. Gha. Gha. For example, for those who speak Swahili, for example, I'm not sure. Do you all speak Swahili? What is
Some of
what
us
is
do.
huh? Yes,
No.
Mohammed.
Some of us do, sir.
Okay. So what is expensive, for example, in Swahili for those who speak Swahili?
Ghali.
Uh, now it is Ghali, not Gali. You see, this is Gha now. This is letter Gha now. That is Ghali. It's not Gali, it's not Gali. It is Gha because it's Arabic. The word is borrowed from Arabic, Ghali, which means expensive. Right? Remember, we said there are a number of languages that Arabic has influenced, like Swahili. So you see a number of words were borrowed from Arabic. They said 22% of Swahili is Arabic. 22%. Some people do exaggerate up to 40. I think that's just an exaggeration. It is 22%. So you see these 22, majority of them, you'll see them in the discussion. So Ghali, it is Gha in Arabic. So these two letters now, if you look, they look alike, right? A and Gha, they look alike. The difference are the dots. One has a dot and another one is dotless. So this is A, this is Gha. This is A and this is Gha. So A, Gha. We said like Abdi, Aisha, Abdullahi, Usman. This we said like Ghali. Even some people are named Ghali, right? I know of a lady who's called Ghali. Ghali.
Yeah.
Right? So it is A and Gha. You say Ain or Ghain. That is the name of the letter. You say Ain, Ghain. You can as well say A and Gha. Again, these letters we said they are not in our mother tongue, but with practice, we can pronounce them perfectly. The other one is Fa. This is the normal F. Fa, like Fatima, Farhiya, Faisal, Firdousa, so that's Farah, Faraz, right? Sharif, at the end, Fa. So this is the normal F, Fa. And this is Qa, Qa, Qa. So same. This one is Fa, and this one is Qa. Fa and Qa. 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 There are people who sometimes Qa is, we push it to somewhere else by saying Ka, right? For example, this name, how do you read this name?
Qasim.
This is
Qasim.
Qa.
Qasim.
This is Qa.
Qasim.
because the name is Arabic. It is Qasim. It was supposed to be Q, right? It was supposed to be Q, but because Qa is close to Ka, we take it, we push it to Ka. So you say Qasim, but it's supposed to be Qasim, right? It's supposed to be Qasim and not Qasim. For example, this you say Abdi Ghaffar. No, this is Gha. This is Gha. Yes, Abdi Qadir, yes. Abdi Qadir. You say Abdi Qadir. It's supposed to be Abdi Qadir. This is an Arabic name. Abdi Qadir. This was supposed to be Q. You say Abdi Qadir and not Abdi Qadir. You don't say Abdi Qadir. You say Abdi Qadir. So this is Qa. Fa, Qa, Qasim, Abdi Qadir. Which are other names?
The Ghafar.
Which one are others?
Abdul Ghani.
Abdul Ghani, that should be Ghain. Quraisha, you say Quraish, Qa.
Okay.
It's Quraish, you say Quraish, Qa. Right? Qamar. You say this is supposed to be Qamar, not Qamar. Right? It's Qamar. So this is Fa, and the other one is Qa. Fa, Qa. You see the difference are the dots. One has one dot, another one has two dots. Yes.
I've got a question, sir.
Yes, yes, Musa.
It's Mohammed. Although Q is closer to Qaf than K, is it right to say they're 100% similar, like Qaf and Q?
Well, not 100%, but
it's the closest.
It is the closest letter we can get there.
Okay.
Yes, it is the closest letter we can get there. Not all the time.
Yeah.
Even Q, not all the time is pronounced like Ka, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant.
Yes. Sometimes it gives you a different sound.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Good. So this is Fa and Qa, we said. The other group are two letters. This is Ka and La. These are the normal ones, you know. This is the normal K, Ka, and this is the normal La. Ka. For example, you say Kamal. Kamau. Which are the ones? Any other name that begins with Ka? Yes, yes. Think of any Ka. Any name, any sound that begins with K.
In Kiende.
Yes.
Karanja.
That's another one.
Karanja.
Karanja, that's right. Korea. Kamar. Or Kamal. So that is Ka. Say Kamal. Kamau, right?
Yeah.
And this is La, like Layla, Laura, Luqman, Lul, and the rest. You see, this one has a dot, has this sign here. And this one is just a long whatever. So this is Ka. This one they have no problem with. We have them in our mother tongues, right? So we can easily pronounce this. The other one is Ma and Ha. Mim and Ha. Or sometimes you just write this way. Remember, we said majority of the letters are either turned up or down, but one or two or a few of them are just left unturned. So this is the normal M, the normal Ma, and this is the normal H. Ma, like Musa, right? Another one. Maryam.
Muhammad.
Dina, Muhammad. I can see Muhammad Muniru. I can see here. Yes. Maina. Maina. Where is Maina? Ted. This is the second time I'm looking for him and nowhere to be seen. Good. So that is ma. And this one is ha, like Harun. Another one, Henry,
Hajra,
Hajra.
Hussein. Oh,
Uh-huh.
it's okay.
Yes, that's
Okay.
another one.
Hassan.
Hassan. I can see you guys, you are reading the
Used to,
English.
yeah.
Hassan in Arabic it begins with ha. Is that a ha?
Hilal,
Yes, Hilal. That's right. I can see Hilal al Hilal.
Harun,
Harun. That's right.
Hiba.
Hiba. That's right. Hani.
Huda.
That's right.
Huda.
Huda, Henry,
Wow.
Henry, and all those. So that is ha, the normal ha, mim and ha. Good. Mim and ha, or ma and ha. Now, these other ones here. Wa, da. Okay, let me write wa. This is wa or wow. Wa, like, yes, Adim.
Sir, can you just rewrite that what is it called again? This ma on the screen, like how to write it. Actually,
Ma, just a circle.
ha.
You just, okay. Ma or ha?
Ha.
Ha, good. Ha, you start from here. You go around, then you connect it here. Or if it is difficult, you can just circle and write it this way. That is for a beginner to write that way. But if you look into whatever, it's just going circle, then here. You go round, then you draw it here. Right? But again, if it's difficult, you can just draw, you just circle, then you draw a line there. But this is the common way, that is the most common one, right? You begin from there, then you go around, you come to where you began, you draw that small whatever. It's a whole circle, it's a small circle in a whole circle. You see this long, you go around, then when you come to here, you circle a small one. Is
Okay.
that okay?
Yes.
Good. So this is what, for example, like Warsame, William, another one. Willis.
Warsan.
Yes,
Willard.
Warsan.
Wanjiku,
Wanjiku, that's right.
Warda.
Washira,
Warda, Washira.
Walid.
Walid. So that is one. What? The other one is da and the. This is da and this is the. Da. Da like Daud. You say Daud.
Dima.
And
Dima.
Dina, that's right. Dina, that's right.
David.
David, that's right. Damaris, So that is da. So you say da, da. The other one is the, dal or da. This one you show a bit of your tongue. You say da, like dhahab.
Dhahab.
Dhahabu, yes, which is gold in Arabic, and it's
Yeah, but there's also someone, there's some people called Dhahab.
yes, dhahaba. That's right. That's right. They call it dhahaba. Yes, that's right. So that is that. You say dal. That. There are no many names that begins with that. I know of dhahab, dhahabu, dhahaba. Is there anybody who knows any other name that begins with that? Ladha, for example, in Arabic you say ladha.
Daoud.
Zakira.
No.
Dhakira, that's right. Dhakira.
Daoud.
Dawood begins with da. This one, Dawood. When you start writing, you say Dawood. But this one is da. Like you see, it's adopted. So it is da. Good. So those are, again, they have the same shapes. You see, it's already, this one is dotted, and this one when you are drawing, make sure you don't, the two sides should be a bit closer to each other, right? It's just a simple whatever. If you put it this way, it looks like another letter. If you make it two, whatever, it looks like something else. So it is, you know, not that the side should
Sharp.
not be that. Yes, good. So the other two are Ra and Za. You see, they look alike. This is the normal R, and this is the normal Za. Ra. I can see somebody call here Ramadan, right? Where's Ramadan? Ramadan. Ruwaida, I see Ruwaida also here. Ruwaida begins with Ra. In Arabic, when you are writing, you begin with Ra. Munira, there's Ra. Riyaga. Where's Riyaga?
Yeah.
Yes, your name begins with this letter Ra. Riyaga.
Yeah.
Omar, I can see Omar ends with the Ra.
Umaisa.
Yes. Muniru, there's Ra in it. Right. Firdausa, there's Ra. Ramadan, are you back? Sharif, there's Ra. So this is the normal Ra everybody knows, like Rauda, Laura, there's Ra.
Rajab.
Yes, Rajab, there's Rahma, right?
No.
So that's the normal Ra. This is Za, like Zakaria. Another one?
Zahra.
Zahra, that's right.
Zara.
Zahruja.
Yes,
There's also Zahruja.
yes, Zaharuja, there's Zuhur,
Zainab.
Zamzam.
Zainab, that's right.
Zakir.
Zakir, So that is letter Za, right? Zulaykha, Zakaya. So that begins with Za. Again, the difference, this one has a dot and this one is dotless. We'll come and everybody will pronounce all this together. Let's finish first. So that is Ra and Za. And again, it's not Ra, there's no Ra for those who probably have American accent. It's only Ra. In Arabic, it's Ra, not Ra. It is Ra. Ra, you say Ra. So last one is A. The last one is A or Alif. A. That's why we were saying you need to differentiate between A and A. A. Like Adim. Like Adim, this is A, right?
Yeah.
Adim begins with A. Ahmed begins with A. Asiya begins with A. Who else?
Amira.
Anas.
Anas, that's right. Amira, that's right. Ayub. Another one. Alai. He's a very famous blocker. This is a blocker, Robert Alai. Alai begins
Yeah,
with A.
on Twitter.
It's called Alai. Ayan. All that is A. We begin with A. Good. Now all those are letters. The rest we discussed the other 24, other 14 letters. We began from Ain or A, Gha or Ghain, Fa, Qaf or Qa, Ka, La, Ma, Ha, Wa, Da, Tha, Ra, Z, and A. I want everybody to pronounce all this. Let me begin with the Adim.
Yes, sir. I have to start from where?
From Ain. A.
Which ones? Ah, Ra, Fa, Kha. Is it Kha?
Qa, yes. Qa.
Ka, Ka. La, Ma, Ha. Wa, Wow,
Yes.
Da, da, dal or dal,
Yes.
ah,
You skip this one.
what? Oh, za.
On this one?
Which one? Ra.
Yes. Ra, za, and ah. That's good. Yes, Alia.
Okay, it's fa,
Huh? Begin with from here.
where,
From number 15.
okay.
Yes.
A, qa, fa, qa, ka, la, ma, ha, wa, da, the, ra, za, and a.
That's good. That's right. Yes, Ramadan. Okay. You know there? Yes, Asia.
A, Ra, Fa, Ka, La, Ka, La, Ma, Ha, Wa, Da, Za, Ra, Za, A.
Why did you skip these two?
Which one?
This one here.
Ka and La.
This is on this one.
Ka,
On this one.
Ka,
Ka.
Ka.
This is Ka. Yes, the normal K. Good. Yes, Firdosa.
عين غين فاء قاف كاف لام ميم هاء واء دال ذال راء زاء ألف.
That's right. Yes, Farhaz.
A, Ka, Fa, Ka, Ka, La, Ma, Ha, Wa, Da, Da, Ra, Za, A.
Good. Good. Yes. Yes, Hamdi.
It's A, Ra, Fa, Ka, Ka, La, Ma, Ha, Wa, Wow, Da, The, Ra, Za, and A.
That's good. Yes, Joseph.
It's A, Ga, Fa, Ka, Ka, La, Ma, then Ha, Wa, Da, Da, Ra, Za, A.
That's good. That's good. Yes, Mohammed Ahmed.
A, Ra, Fa, Qa, Ka, La, Ma, Ha, Wa, Da, Za, Ra, Za, A.
That's good. That's good. Yes, Muniru.
It's Ain, Ghain, Fa, Qaf, Ka, La, Ma, Ha, Wa, Da, Dha, Ra, Za, Alif.
That's good. Yes, Riaga.
A, Ra, Fa, Qaf, Ka, La, Ma, Ha, Wa, Da, Dha, Ra, Za, A.
That's right. That's right. Yes, Ruwaida.
A, Ra, Fa, Qaf, Ka, La, Ma, Ha, Wa, Da, Dha, Ra, Za, A.
That's right. Yes, Said Musa.
A, Ra, Fa, Qa, Ka, La, Ma, Ha, Wa, Da, La, Ra, Za, A. Alif.
That's good. Yes, Imad. Imad Shah. Yes, Maina. Ted. Aina? Okay, good. This one I know it to be seen. Good. Now let's see let's see how, let's try to differentiate some few letters, but probably we see them are pronounced similarly, but they're totally different in Arabic. They are totally different. They do not sound the same. They have different pronunciations. Let me see this. Mhm. Okay, there are a number of letters that we pronounce them similarly. And there is one. Hello? Hi? Hello?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I thought I lost
You're
connection.
speaking on the phone.
Huh?
We thought you're speaking on the phone.
No, I thought I lost connection.
Now you can hear.
Okay, okay. I'm just trying to get a document here. Just 1 second. Okay, let me see if I can write that. We said there are some letters. For example, if you look, let me begin from here. Sorry. How do you pronounce the first letter?
Ah.
Ah. And the second one?
Ah.
Ah. So those are totally two different letters in terms of pronunciation and in terms of shape. This one is ah. We said like Abdul Abdi or Ali or Aisha or Omar. So you see, this is ah. So in the pronunciation, we say Ali, not Ali. It is Abdi, not Abdi. It is Omar, not Omar. It is Aisha, not Aisha. It is Alia, not Alia. So this letter is A. And this one is A. Like Ahmed, you say A, right? Adim, you say A. But this one sometimes, because A is not in our mother tongue, we try to push it to A. So for example, Abdi, we say Abdi, right? You see, this is now this one here. When it comes to Aisha, you say Aisha, it is this one. So these are two different letters. Adim, how do you pronounce the first one? And the second one? How do you read this name?
Abdi.
This is A now in Arabic. When you're reading this one, you say Abdi. Abdi. Right? This name is Ali. In Arabic, it's A. You say Ali, not Ali. It is Ali. Abdi. Aisha. Yes, Ali, how do you pronounce the first letter?
A and then A.
Yes, A and A. Yes, Ramadan? Asiya?
A and A.
So which among these two your name begins with?
The second one.
The second one, yes. So this is Asiya. Your name is Asiya. And this is A. So Abdi, Ali. This is A. Good. Yes. Yes, Firdausa.
And A.
Say it again.
A.
Yes, that's right. Farhaz,
and ah.
how do you pronounce the first one? How read this time here?
Abdi.
Abdi. You say
Abdi.
and this one?
Ah. Ali.
Ali, not Ali, my friend. You say Ali. Abdi.
Ali.
Yes, that
Abdi.
is it. Yes, you say Ali.
Ali.
Abdi. Aisha. Umar, right? So that is A and Ah. Yes, Hamdi.
It's A and A.
That's right. It's A and Ah. How do you read this name here?
Abdi.
And this one?
Ali.
That's right. That's right. Yes, Farhaz. Not Farhaz, sorry. Joseph.
Yes, sir.
Read this too.
That's ah.
Mhm.
Then that's ah.
How do you read this name here?
Abdi.
Say Abdi. Abdi, yeah?
Abdi. Abdi.
Yes, yes, Abdi. And this one?
Ali.
Ali. Ali.
Ali.
Yes, this is A and this is A. So this is A. You say Ali,
Uh-huh.
Abdi, Aisha, Umar. Try. Make sure you practice that. Yes, you practice that properly, right?
Okay.
Yes, Muhammad Ahmed. Muhammad Ahmed.
Yeah, I'm here. It's A and A.
Yes, yes, Muniru.
It's A and A.
How do you read this name?
Abdi.
Yeah, you're correct. And this?
Ali.
Ali, yes, Ali. That's right. That's Abdi, Ali, Aisha. Yeah, that's right. Yes, Riaga.
It's A and A.
You need to differentiate between the two. How do you read this name?
Abdi.
And this one?
Ali.
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 Yes, the pronunciations come somewhere down the throat. You say Ali, Abdi, right? So make sure you widely open your throat. Say Abdi and Ali. This is the normal A, but this one you need also to practice this one. Ali, Abdi, Aisha, Umar, Alia, Abdulaziz, Abdurrahman, right? So that is A and this is A. Good. Yes, Ruwaida.
A and A.
How do you read this name?
Abdi.
And this one?
Ali.
Yes, Musa.
Abdi and Ali.
That's right.
Na
Yes, Imad.
It's and
How do you read this name?
Abdi.
And this one?
Ali.
What is your name?
Imad.
Imad. Not
Yes.
Imad. It's your name begins with the letter A, so it is Imad, right?
Yes.
So it is A and A and A. Yes, Maina. Maina. Okay. So those are two letters that probably we see them pronounced, or we may tend to pronounce them similarly, but they're two different letters. So you need to practice the pronunciation, the different pronunciation of those two letters, A and A. Good. Let's see this. That's one. We are trying to list the letters that we tend to pronounce them similarly, but they are totally different in shapes and pronunciation. Let us see this one. So how do you this is Qa. We say like Qasim, Qamar, Quraysh. This is Qa, and this is Ka, like Kamal, Kamau, right? Qa and Ka. Qa, Qa, Ka, Qa, Ka. For example, this name here, that is Qamar, right? That is qamar. But sometimes we call it qamar, which is not right. This one is qasim. What? Second one?
Kha and ka.
Pronounce this name.
Khamar.
And this one?
Qasim.
That's right. Awesome. This is the normal K, like Kamal. Kamal, for example, you say Kamal, right? Kamal. So that's the normal Ka. Yes, Alia.
Qa and Ka.
Read these two names.
Qamar, Qasim.
That's right. Yes, Ramadan. Yes, Asiya.
Ka and Ka.
Read this name.
Qamar,
And this
Qasim.
one. And this one.
Qasim.
And this one.
Kamal, Kamal. See?
Yes.
And Kamal.
Yes. So this is Ka and this is Qa. That's right. Yes, Firdaus. Firdaus.
Qa, Ka, Qamar, Qasim, Ka,
That's right.
Kamal and Kamal.
Yes, Farhaz.
It's Qa and Ka.
How do you read these names?
Kamal, Qasim,
Qasim.
Qasim,
Yes. And this one?
Qamar, Kamau, and
Kamal.
Kamal.
So you get the difference. This is Qa, Qamar, Qasim. And this is Kamau, Kamal. Qa, Ka. Good. Yes, Hamdi.
Yeah. It's Qa and Ka.
Read these names.
Qamar and Qasim.
Yes, Joseph.
Yeah. The first one is Kamal, and then Qasim. The second one. Then there's Kaman, and then Kamal.
Okay, now you get to pronounce this one. You say Qa. This is Qamar, Qamar, Qa, 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 Qamar, Qasim, right? Qa and Ka, Qa, Ka, Qa, Ka. So you need to get the difference between these two. Qamar, Qasim, Abdul Qadir, and this is Kamau and Kamal. Yes, Muhammad Ali, Muhammad Ahmed, sorry.
It's Qaf and Kaf. So Qamar, Qasim, Kamau, Kamal.
That's right. Yes, Muniru.
It's Qaf and Kaf. So the names are Qamar, Qasim, Kamau, and Kamal.
That's right. Yes, Riaga.
It's Qa and Ka. So it's Qamar, Qasim, and Kamau, Kamal.
That's right. Yes, Ruwaida.
Qa and Ka, and it's Qamar, Qasim, Kamal, and Kamau.
That's right. Yes, Imad.
It's Qa and Ka.
That's right.
Yeah, and Qamar and Qasim.
Yes, Maina. Okay, so good. Now you get the difference between two, right? Are we together? So those are two other letters that probably we tend to pronounce them similarly, but they are totally different. Let's see the others. Let's see others. There's this one here. This is Bo. It's like T with a dot, and this is the normal T. This is Bo, and this is Ta. Bo, Ta. For example, the first one is like Taha, Taha, right? Tayyib, right? And the other one is like the normal T. For example, you say Tom, right? You say another. Give me another name. Tamim, for example. So this is Ta. It is T with a dot. It is Taha. Ta. You say Ta, and this is Ta. This one is Taha, and this is Tayyib, right? Taha, Tayyib. Those are names, right? Taha and Tayyib. Yes, Adim.
To and Ta.
How do you read these names? Yeah.
Taha and Tayyib.
This one?
Tom and Tamim.
Tamim, yes, Tamim. So this is Taha. You say Taha, Taha, Ta, 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 Taha. Tayyib, right? Taha, Tayyib. Good. Yes, Alia?
It's Ta and Ta.
Say it again.
Ta and Ta.
How do you read the names here?
Taha, Tayyib. And then Tom, Tamim.
Yes, this is Ta and this is Ta. That's right. Yes, Ramadan? Asia?
Ta and Ta.
How do you read the name here?
Taha, Tayyib.
And this one is?
Tom, Tamim.
Yes, Taha, Tayyib. You say Taha and Tayyib. Yes, Firdausa?
Ta, Ta. Taha, Tayyib, Tom, Tamim.
That's right. Yes, Farhaz.
It's Ta, Ta. So it's Taha, Taib. It's Tom, Tamim.
That's right. Yes, Hamdi.
It's Ba and Ta, Taha, Tayyib, and Tom and Tamim.
Yes, yes, Joseph.
Ta and Ta, then it's Taha and Tayyib, then Tom, Tamim.
Tamim, yes. Yes, Muhammad Ahmed.
It's Ta and Ta, Taha, Tayyib, Tom, Tamim.
Muniru.
Ta and Ta, Taha, Tayyib, Tom, Tamim.
Yes, Riyaga.
It's Ta and Ta, so Taha, Tayyib, and Tom, Tamim.
That's right. That's right. Yes, Ruwaida.
Ta and Ta, Tahir, Tayyib, Tom, and Tamim.
That's right. Yes, Ahmed.
It's Ta and Ta, so Taha, Tayyib, and Tom and Tamim.
Yes, Maina. Okay. Again, you can see the difference between these two letters, Ta and Ta. They are totally two different letters, Ta and Ta. Good. Let's see the other two. Let's see the other two. There's this one here. And there's this one here. This one is said is va, right? We pronounce it va. And this is the, right? The and the. The and the. There are not many names that begin with this. But let me just write some verbs probably. For example, you say the first one is you say like dhulm. Let me write it. You can say dhulm. You say
There's
dhulm.
Dahir. I don't know which group it falls into, but
Tahir is the first one. Tahir is this one. It's Ta. Tahir is Ta.
So the people who say Dahir are wrong. They
I don't know.
pronounce
It is
wrong.
Tahir. It's supposed to be Tahir. Tahir. You know, those are Arabic names. Those are Arabic names. But you know, many people do not know their meanings. And actually, they mean something. For example, when you call it something Tahir, Tahir means clean in Arabic.
Clean, yeah.
Yes. So it is Tahir and not Zahir. So this is Dhulm, for example. ظلم, you say ظلم. ذهب,
is Dhul Kifli.
yes. ذو الكفل, exactly. ذو الكفل is this one. Actually, it's first one. Let me
Yeah.
write that one. That's good. That's good. Thank you. ذو الكفل. So as we say ذو الكفل. ذو الكفل. That is that. This one here. ذو الكفل. Right? And the other one is like ذهب. So this one is the and that. The first one has a bit of vibration. You say ذو الكفل. ذو الكفل. You say ظاهر. ظلم. ظلم. And the other one is ذهب. Both of them actually you show your tongue, but the other one you stress. You say ظلم. ذو الكفل. And the other one is the normal like ذهب or ذهب and the rest. Yes. Who wants to pronounce the first these two letters? Yes, let everybody try. Yes.
Let me try, sir.
Sure, Adim.
Z and da.
That's
And
right.
then,
That is another. That is another.
Zul Kifl and then Dahab.
That's another. That's another Adim. That's right. Next. Who is next?
It's Dhu and Da.
Yes.
Zulkifli, Dhulm, and then Dahab.
That's right. That's right, Aliyah. That's another. Next.
I can go.
Yes.
It's Dha and Dha. So Dhul Kifli and Dhahab.
That's right. That's right. Next. Next.
It is the and the. So Dhum and Dhahab.
That's right, Farhaz. That's right. That's right. Another one.
The.
Yes, Firdaus.
Dahab.
That's right, Firdaus. Next one. Next one. Let's everybody try. Yes, Asiya.
It's the and the. ذو الكفر and ذهب.
That's right. That's right. Next one. Next one.
There's the and the, da and the, Dhul Kifli and Dhahab.
That's right, Ruwaida. Next one.
It's da and da, and Dhul Kifl and Dahab.
That's right. That's right, Joseph. Next. Okay. Good. So let's see again these other ones. That's right. Make sure you again practice the different pronunciation of those two letters. Now let's see this one. Sorry. Let's see this two. This one is we said H with a dot like ha, and this is the normal ha. Ha. For example, this name. How do you read that name? Hassan, right?
Yeah.
Hamdi. And the other one is like Harun, Henry, right? So this is ha. You say Hamdi, Hassan, and this is Harun, Henry, and the normal H. Yes, Adim.
Ha and ha.
Yes, this is. Some people when they feel cold, they say like ha.
So it's Hamdi Hassan.
Yes, that's how you read it.
Henry.
Yes, that's right. Yes, Alia.
It's Ha and Ha, and Hamdi, Hassan, Henry, and Harun.
That's right. Yes, Ramadan.
It's Ha and Ha. Hamdi, Hassan, and Henry, Harun.
That's right. Ramadan, we have been calling for you, but you did not respond. I saw you.
My microphone was not working. I'm sorry.
Yes, Asia.
It's Ha and Ha. Hamdi, Hassan, Harun, Henry.
That's right. Yes, Firdosa.
Ha, Hamdi, Hassan, Harun, Henry.
That's right. Yes, Farhaz.
It's Ha and Ha. Hamdi, Hassan, Harun, Henry.
Well, you need to practice Farhaz Ha. Say Hamdi.
Yes.
Hassan. Halima. Hawa.
Habib.
Right? Habiba.
Yes.
Yes. You say good.
Ha.
Yes, Hamdi.
There's Ha and Ha. Hamdi, Hassan, Harun, and Henry.
Yes. Yes, Joseph.
It's Ha and Ha. Hamdi, Hassan, Harun, Henry.
You need to practice Ha. You say Hamdi, right? Hamdi. Hassan, right? Say Hassan, Hassan, Hassan. You need to get the difference between. Yes, Muhammad Ahmed.
It's Ha and Ha. Hamdi, Hassan, Harun, Henry.
Yes, Muniru.
It's Ha and Ha. Hamdi, Hassan, Harun, Henry.
Yes, you practice Ha. Hamdi, Hamdi, Hassan, Halima,
Hamdi.
Hawa. Yes, Haliba, Habiba, right? So that is Ha. Yes, Riaga.
It's Ha and Ha. So Hassan, Hamdi, and Henry, Harun.
Yes, that's right. But more practice on the Ha. Yes, Roida.
Ha and Ha. Hamdi, Hassan, Harun, Henry.
Yes, Saeed.
Ha na Ha. Hamdi, Hassan, Henry, Harun.
That's right. Yes, Imad.
Ha and Ha. So it's Hamdi, Hassan, Harun, and Henry.
Why Hariman? Paul, speed governor. So it is Ha. Practice the Ha more. Hamdi,
Okay.
Hamdi, Halima, Hassan. Yes, Maina. Good. That's great. That's great. That's great. That's great. We need to get the pronunciation perfectly, so that when we are reading there, whatever we don't mix the letters. Good. How do you read the first one and the second one? The first one is Sa. Sa. Like Salim. Like Susan. Is that how to read Susan? Right? So it is Sa, the normal Sa, Salim. The other one is Shwa, like we said, Swaleh. Right? There's somebody called Abdi Samad, eh? Abdi Swamad. Swamad. I don't know if that's the pronunciation. Shwa, Abdi Samad. So the first one is Sa. The other one is Shwa. You say Swaleh, Abdi Samad, Saum. There's some people call Somane, right? So that's Som. Sa and Sa. Yes, Adim.
Sa and Swa.
That's correct. How do you read these phonemes?
Salim, Susan, Swale, and Swamed.
Yes, Abdul Samad. That's right.
Oh,
yes,
that's it.
Alia.
It's Sa and Sa. Salim, Susan, Swaleh, and Samad. Abdi Samad.
That's right. Yes, Ramadan.
It's Sa and Swa. Salim, Susan, Swaleh, Abdul Samad.
That's right. Yes, Asiya.
It's Sa and Swa. Salim, Susan, Swaleh, and Abdi Samad.
That's in order. That's in order. Yes, Firdausa.
Salim, Susan, Swaleh, Abdul Samad.
That's right. Yes, Farhaz.
Sa, Swa, Salim, Susan, Swaleh, Abdul Samad.
Yes, Hamdi.
So it's Sa and Swa, Salim, Susan, Swaleh, and Abdi Samad.
That's right. Yes, Joseph.
It's Sa and Swa. Salim, Susan, Swaleh, and Abdi Samad.
That's right. That's right. Yes, Muhammad Ahmed.
It's Sin and Swad, Salim, Susan, Salah, and Abdul Samad.
That's right. That's right. Yes, Muniru.
It's Sa and Swa, Salim, Susan, Swaleh, Abdul Samad.
Riaga.
It's Sa and Swa, Salim, Susan, Swaleh, Abdul Samad.
That's right. That's right. Yes, Musa.
Sa and Swa, Susan, Salim, Swaleh, Samad.
That's right. Yes, Ahmed.
It's Sa and Swa. So Salim, Susan, Swaleh, and Samad.
That's right. Maina. Maina. Okay, that's good. That's good. Now I can see you are good. You are very good. You are very good. You are pronouncing them correctly. Let's see these others. Again, this one is repeated. How do you read the first one? Va, right? And this one? Tha. Tha. The normal tha, th, like thabit. Right? Another name? Huh? Another name begins with tha. Tabitha, for example, you say Tabitha. This part is tha, right? Tabitha. So this is va and this is tha. Thabit. Tabitha. How do you pronounce the second one, Adim?
Tha.
Yes. How do you read these names here?
Thabit and Thabitha.
Tabitha, yes. Yes. Yes, Joseph, how do you read these two letters? How do you pronounce?
The first one is Sa, and the second one is I'm not sure. Could you repeat?
Tha,
Huh?
tha, like tha,
Sa.
tha, 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 tha.
Sa.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, okay. So Thabit and Sabita.
Like thika, you say thika. Yes, thika. It is the second one. It is this one here. Right? So it is tha, tha,
Ta.
tha.
Okay.
Yes, the and
So
the.
Sabit and Tabitha.
Tabitha.
They like that.
Yes, Thabit, Tabitha, and thika. So how do you pronounce the first one? Thika, right?
Thika, yeah.
Yes, so this is tha now. This is tha. You say thika, Thabit, Tabitha. This th is tha. Good. The other one we pronounce, we say like Dhul Kifli, Dhul Ghafar, Dhu, and the rest. We say Dhu, Dhu, Dhu. Good. Well, which others are more or less? I think we're okay with those. Those are probably the letters that sometimes we think they have the same pronunciations, but they are totally different, right? They're totally different. So make sure you practice those ones we mentioned, so that we get the pronunciation of those letters correctly. They are totally different in Arabic. They are different in both pronunciation and the shapes. Now we are done with the 28 letters in their isolated position. Let me just mention one or two other things before we move to the next one. There is this shape here. You see this one, you see it here. This shape is called Hamza in Arabic. It's called Hamza. Hamza. It's called Hamza. Now, when I'm saying Hamza, let me see. Which one among these two letters am I beginning with the pronunciation of that sign? Is it the first one or the second one?
It's the first one.
Yes, Ramadan?
It's the first one.
The
Yeah.
first one. The first one is this one. This one is number 1 and this is number 2.
Okay, the second one.
Okay.
I think it's the first one.
That's Ramadan. Yes, someone else? Yes, Muhammad?
It's the first one.
Well, you said first one, Hamza. Hamza. Another one?
Hamza.
No, I say
Hamza.
Hamza. I didn't say Hamza. I say Hamza.
Oh, that's
I didn't say
the
Hamza.
second one. Okay.
Okay.
It's the second one then.
Okay. Someone else?
It's the second one.
When I'm saying Hamza, is it
The
first or
second
second?
one with a dot.
Huh?
The second one.
The second
H with a dot underneath.
H with a dot.
Okay, second one.
Okay. You know, this is H with a dot, and this is the normal H. Yes, Joseph.
Okay, I'm going with the one with the dot.
Okay, this one here.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, Joseph.
Yes, sir.
I'm saying Hamza.
Mhm.
Hamza. Which letter am I pronouncing in? Hamza.
When you say Hamza, you say, I think it's the first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Hamza. Yes, Farhaz.
I think it's the second one.
I think it's the second one. Hamza. Yes, Muniru.
I think it's the second one.
Yes, Imad.
The second one.
Second one. Ruwaida.
The first one.
First one. Yes, Riaga. Hamza.
I think the second one.
Second one. Hamza. How do you pronounce this letter here?
Ha.
Huh? Yes, Ramadan.
Ha.
And this one?
Ha.
This is ha. And this is ha. Ha, like you said, Hamdi, Halima, Hawa, Habiba, Hassan, Hussein, and this is Harun, Henry, Hisham. So now when I'm saying Hamza, which one am I beginning with? Hamza. This should be the second one. Should be the
They
second
all
one.
sound the same.
Yes, Adim.
I don't see the difference.
Okay, let me repeat. Hamdi, Halima, Hawa, Hassan, Hussein. That is one. The other one is Harun, Henry, Hilal, Hisham. Do you still hear the same, or they are different to you?
The same.
Well, they are totally different. They are totally different. Probably that is why we are emphasizing on getting the differentiation between the two. This is ha, and this is ha. Ha, ha. You see, this is ha. So when I'm saying Hamza, actually I'm pronouncing this one Hamza. There's a name called Hamza that begins with this. That is Hamza. It is different from Hamza. So this sign here, you see, it is here. That's why even it's just one. It's a normal H without the dot. So this is a sign in Arabic. This sign is called Hamza. It's called what? Hamza. Many a times, the sign is associated with some letters Sometimes it can just stand alone. Sometimes it is together with, this one. You may see it associated with alif, right? When it is here, it shows how this letter is pronounced. When it's here, it shows how is it pronounced. That is in terms of vowels. We'll discuss this. But anyway, if you see this sign in Arabic is called Hamza. Hamza. It's not a different letter. It's not a consonant or an alphabet. It's not in addition to the 28, but just a sign that normally is associated with some letters, or it can be somewhere alone. It's worth mentioning because you may see that sign written somewhere and you may wonder, what is this animal here? Are we together?
Yes,
sir.
So this is called
Yes.
Hamza. Hamza. Good. There is this other sign here. In Arabic, it's called Lam Alif. It is the normal La plus A together, right? So that's how it's written. Sometimes it's just simplified to that one. It's not a different or another additional alphabet, but they are just the normal. They are among the two letters. There are two letters that are joined together. It's only that they are given to this special name. It's just like a special name given to this. So perhaps if you ask what is this, you don't say Alif and Lam. It's called Lam Alif in Arabic. Lam Alif. Lam Alif. It's the normal La. Which one we said it is? Where is it? This one here and this one here joined together, right? So they form that sign. Sometimes it is circulated that way. Sometimes it's just that sign. So it's called Lam Alif. It's only a special name given to that, to those two letters that are joined together. Are we together, guys? Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Any question? We want to take a break of 15 minutes because it's almost 1.5 hours, 10:30. But is there any question up to there before we move to the next point? Okay, good. Yes, Mohammed?
I was just about to say no.
Okay, that's great. Good. So I think we qualify for 15 minutes break. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. So let's resume back at 10:45. So
So, thank you.
good, good.
Do we stay logged in or we log out?
Whichever you feel free. Just feel free. You can log out. You can still feel free. Whichever you're comfortable with. Hello. Are we all back? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Are we all back?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Good, good, good. Good. Okay, I think we can proceed. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Now we discussed the isolated position of all the 28 letters. Isolated position of all the 28 letters. And remember we said isolated means the letter is not connected to any other letter either before or after it. It's a letter left alone with no any other letters or any other letter joined to it. Now that is the isolated position of all the 28 letters. Before we move to the next, I want everybody to try and write his or her name in Arabic. So you can do that because we know all the letters. Of course, there there are some letters that are not. There are some what is it called? There are some these Latin or whatever alphabets that are not found in Arabic. For example, there is no P in Arabic, right? So if your name is Paul, there is no P in Arabic. There is no V in Arabic. Okay. There is no Cha in Arabic. Those letters like Chalice or Charles. Which one else? So there are some few that are not in. There's no Ga, G. There's no Ga in Arabic. So if your name is Gabriel, that one. But normally what they do, it's just like the way we do. They take it to the nearest letter that is found in Arabic. For example, if there's no P, there's B in Arabic. But so they push that letter to B. If your name is Paul in Arabic, they say Baul, because that is the only letter that's found in the way we push ha to ha or a to a. If there's no G in Arabic, but there's J, which is like Ja. So if your name is Gabriel, they just take it to the nearest Ja. There's no V, but there's F, which is Fa, right? There's Fa. There's no V, but there's Fa, right? So that is, there's no Cha, but there's Sha. So chalice would be like chalice. Are we together? So it's just like the way we do, we tend to push the alphabets, the Arabic letters that are not in our mother to the nearest letter or to the closest sound that is found in our mother. Right? So let's see now how we can write our names in Arabic. Try to write. You can write and let everybody tries. Let me enable annotation. Now the floor is yours. Let everybody try to write his or her name in Arabic, and we move from there. Just put the letters, probably not necessarily joining, but you can put the letter. For example, if it is A, it is Ba, it is Ta, it is Ta. You just write the letters that form your name, not necessarily joining them, because we haven't learned how letters are joined together. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mhm. 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 I can see. All right, it's yes, yes. Mhm. Okay. Okay. Mhm. Okay, now we can see. Good, good. Let's proceed. Let's proceed. Good. Let's see these letters in the different positions. Of course, when we are done with the letters in the different positions, it's when you will join. You will write your full name in Arabic, because we are after we are done with the positions. Now let's look into the isolated position of all these letters. If you look this one here, if you look this part here, this one ba, ta, sa, na, ya, ja, ha, kha. What do you notice? What do you notice from this part? What do you notice? Because this is the isolated position of the letters, and this is the initial. The letters are ready to be joined or to be connected with a letter or other letters. Remember, we said in Arabic, as many as 7 letters can be joined together, or even more, even 10, 12, whatever. So this is the isolated position of all the letters. This is ba, ta, sa, na, ya. If you look group 1, do you see any letter that has changed its shape from isolated to initial? Is there any letter that has changed its shape?
Yes.
Which one, Adin?
All of them, they're not complete boards.
They're not?
Like they're not complete.
What do you mean by complete, Adin?
Wait, are we talking about isolation or initial positions?
We are comparing isolation and initial. Is there a letter that has changed its shape in group 1? We are looking into group 1. Okay, first,
Ba in initial, yeah, it's not the same as the bar in isolated position.
okay, just a second before I ask that, before you respond to me first. Isolated, we say a letter is never joined or connected to any other letter from either of the two sides, either before or after. But when we're showing initial, this letter the letters are left free here. And the reason is because should be joined with a letter or other letters. But if you turn the letter up or down, it means there's no room for connection or if you say this is ba, and you say you want to connect this letter with other letters, it is impossible because it is already turned up. There's no room, it's closed. When you say this is ja, and you want to connect this shape with another letter, it's nearly impossible because it's already closed. There's no way you can connect this letter with another letter. But initial means letters are left free here for other letters to be joined. Are you getting the point? Are we together? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So when we're leaving the letters free here, you see, free, not turned up, it is because we want to join with other letters or another letter. so that you know it is prepared, it's ready for connection. It's ready for other letters to join this letter, right? But if you turn it up, that means there's no way you can connect. Are we together? Now I want to come back to my question. Apart from leaving them free because they are initial and they are waiting for other letters to be joined, do you see any letter among these 5 letters, ba, ta, tha, na, ya, that has completely changed its shape? Yes. Look, compare initial and isolated.
Can you say that ya has lost that small head it had?
That's Muniru. Someone else? Someone else? Any change?
I want to try.
Yes.
For example, Ain and Ghain have lost their tail.
Well, we are looking into only group 1. We're looking.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Let's deal with group 1 first, then we go to group 2.
Okay.
Yes, Mohammed. Let's go look into group 1.
I still don't. I also wanted to ask if you could share those groups because I wasn't there last class and I don't know them well.
Well, just look the shapes. Any letters that look the same shape, they are grouped. You say
In
group
one
1
group.
are 5 letters. Then group 2 are these 3 letters. Group 3 are these 2 letters. Group 4 are these 2, these 2, these 2, these 2, and the rest.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other one? Do you agree with Muniru that ya changed its shape?
I do not see any changes.
Yes.
Yes, Adim?
Network issues. I can't hear you guys from my side.
Okay, noted.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Do you hear us?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, good. So do you agree with Muniru that ya has changed its shape from isolated to initial? As ya
Yes.
concurred with yes? Okay.
Yeah.
So in group 1, we have this letter that has changed its shape. Yeah. If you look the sign, this is ya isolated, and this is ya initial. So it's true that this part is missing. This part is missing, right? So ya has changed its shape from isolated to initial. Good. So far we have one letter that has changed its shape. Let's see group 2. Jim, Ja, Ha, and Kha. Do you see any change? If you compare this, show that there's no room for connection. There's no room for you to join with other letters. So majority of them are either turned up or turned down, right? But that doesn't mean, that's not to say when a letter is initial and is not either turned out or turned down has changed its shape. Just look the first part of the letter. That's when you will realize whether a letter has changed its shape or not. So group 2, there are no changes. Letters just maintain their shapes. It's only that they are turned down when they are isolated. Now group 2, sa and sha. Is there any change?
No.
Isolated versus initial.
No.
No, there's no change.
Good, there's no change. Then the other group, sha and da. Is there any change?
There's no change.
No.
Yes, there's no change. That's right. Da and the. This is the initial. This is isolated, and this is the initial. Is there
There's
any
no
change?
change.
There's no change there. A and ra. A,
There's
is
no
a
change.
Yes,
No.
this is a isolated, and this is a. This is ra. This is ra. There's no change. Fa and qa.
There's no change.
No
There's
change.
no change. Ka and la.
There's change in ka.
There's change in ka. That is serif.
Yes,
There's
sir.
change in ka. Any other one? Do you agree or do you see any change in ka? This is ka isolated and this is ka
Yes.
initial.
Yeah.
Yes. Adim, do you see any change? Joseph?
Yes, I see a little bit of change.
Riaga?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Do you see a change?
Yes.
Maina? Ahmad?
I don't see a change.
Ahmad?
I see a change.
Good. That's correct. Because here, just look this one. This is car isolated, and this is car initial. You see? They're totally different. They're totally different. So this is car isolated, and this is car initial. You see, there's no this part. Instead, there's a long line here, right? There's that one here. Some people, they write it this way. That's also possible. So car has changed its shape from isolated to initial. So so far we have two letters that changed their shapes, right? Ya and ka. Now let's see ha and ma. Is there any change? If you compare ha with ma ha here, do you see any change?
No.
No, there's no change. That's right. Now look into wa, da, ra, za, and a. Compare this one with this one.
They're all the
Is there any
same.
change?
Nothing changed.
There's no change.
That's good. So in what is called in initial position, we have two letters that changed their shapes. That is ya, because this is ya initial, and that is ka, because this is ka initial. So we have these two letters that changed their shapes. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Good. Let's look into what do you call it? The middle position of these letters. Middle position. This is the middle position. Middle position, you see here, on both sides, letters are left free because the assumption is that there is a letter or there are letters here and there are others here. So that's why they are left free. But before, you see, before this one is, the line is drawn, look ba, look ta, look tha, na, and ya. If there's any change, you compare isolated, initial, and middle. Is there any change in these 5 letters?
No.
Okay, so we are comparing initial with middle, right? Initial with middle. Because we compared isolated with initial, let's compare initial with middle. So it's only that this letter is connected with others here, right? There's a line that's drawn here, group 1. But if you look this is where the letter begins, right? This is where the letter begins. If you look here and here, they're just one and same. It's only that this one is, there's a line here to show that there's a letter or the other letters that are joined with this. So group 1, there are no changes, right? Now let's look group 2, ja, ha, and kha. Do you see any change? Initial and isolate, initial and middle?
No, they're the same.
They're the same. Sa and sha are also same. Sa and ba. Is there any change?
No.
Ba and da. Ba initial and ta middle. Is there any change?
No, sir.
A and ga. A initial, A middle, Ga initial, Ga middle. Is there any change?
Yes.
Yes.
Where?
Yes.
Okay. Now this letter, that's correct. These two letters, they changed their shapes. That's correct. They changed the shapes. This is A and this is Ga isolated. This is A and this is Ga initial. This is A and this is Ga in the middle. You see this shape? These shapes are different from these shapes. So it's true that A and Ra change their shapes in the middle. That's Ra, this is A, right? So we have two letters that changed their shapes from initial to middle. And again, when we are drawing these letters, we need to be careful the way they are drawn. It's like, you see this, it's like a bit curved, right? It's not just a simple circle. That's how you draw it. You see this big whatever. Good. So A and Gha, they changed their shapes. That's right. And let's move to the next. Fa and Qa. You compare Fa and Qa initial and Fa and Qa middle. Is there any change?
Nope.
No. Ka
No.
initial, Ka middle.
Nope.
There's no change. La is also no change. Ma and Ha, there are no changes, and the rest there is no change.
Almost no change.
Yes. So far, we have two letters that change their shapes from initial to middle. That's A and Gha. A and Gha, they change their shapes. Good. Now let's look the last one, the final part, the what's called the final position of the letters. This is the final position. If you look group one, we are comparing now initial, middle, and final. Initial, middle, and final. If you look group one, is there a letter that has changed its shape? Yes. Look initial, look middle, and look final of group one up to here. Look to number 5. Is there a letter that has changed its shape? Alia?
Yes, sir.
I'm saying, is there a letter that has changed its shape from initial, middle, to final?
From Ba to Na, or
to yeah, number 5.
Ba to Ya. No.
Yes, someone else?
Yeah, changed in the final position.
That's Firdausa. Yes, that's true. You see, yeah, this is your initial, this is your middle, and this is your final. Now, ya has two shapes. Ya in ya final and ya isolated, they look alike. Am I right?
Yeah.
Ya isolated and ya in the final position, they look alike. Ya initial and the ya middle, they look alike. So that means when you are writing ya, if you have to write ya in the initial, this is how you write. Middle, this is ya. Final, this is ya. Isolated, this is ya. So you see this one, if you this curve here, this part looks like this, right? So ya has these two shapes, right? So ya final and ya isolated, ya initial and ya middle. Are we together, Joseph?
So together, sir.
Good. Do you see the difference?
Yeah, I see it.
Farhaz,
Yes, sir.
do you get the difference?
Yes, a bit, but like it's confusing.
What is it confusion?
Like
What's it confusion, man?
you said when the letters are isolated, they either turn down or they turn up.
Yes.
So in the middle, it's not isolated, so there is no a curve, but at the end there is.
Well, you are looking, okay. When we're saying a letter is final, it means there is no connection again. It's like when it is isolated, we say you turn up or down. And when it's final, it's same. You've either turned it up or turn it down because it's final and that is the end. There are no more connections. Now, apart from up and down, if you look this part here and this part, don't they look alike? This one and this one, right?
No.
Well,
There's
they do, because let me write this. For example, if you write let me not this is your initial and this is your final and this is your isolated, right? So if you look these two here, this one and this one, because this other letter, this one here, this one ends somewhere here. So from here, it is yeah. So this shape here and this shape here, don't they look same?
Yes.
That's why we are saying yeah final is just like yeah isolated. Yeah initial is just like yeah middle. You see these two, they look alike, and these two, they look alike. Riaga, are we together?
Yes, sir.
Do you get the difference, Riaga?
Yes.
Good. Now that is yeah. It is the first letter that has changed its shape. Good. Now you go to the other group, Ja, Ha, and Kha. This is Ja final, this is Ha final, this is Kha final. So there's no change in Ha and Kha. If you look all from here, they just look alike. It's only that this one is at the end and this one is isolated. This one is in the middle and this one is initial. That's why this one they are left free because the other letters to be joined. This one is final. There are letters before it, but there's nothing after it. And this one is isolated. Sa and Sha is also the same. There's no change. If you compare from here up to the end, there's no change. A letter in the final, again, we said it stand up because that is the final. It is in the last stage and there are no other letters to be joined with this. Sa and Da is also same. They don't change shapes. See, this is Sa initial, this is Sa middle, this is Sa final, this is Sa isolated. This one is same. Da is also same. Da initial, Da middle, Da final, Da isolated. Is there any change in this too? Do you see any change in Sa and Da?
No.
There's none, yes, there's none. Da and Da is also same. Da, this is Da initial, Da middle, Da final, Da isolated. Da is also same. So there's no change in these two letters. Now A and Gha, this is A initial, this is Gha middle, A middle, A final, and A isolated. Gha initial, Gha middle, Gha final, and Gha isolated. So Gha and A and Gha, sorry, they have these two shapes again. This is the second, this A, and A is the second letter, and Ra is the third letter that changed its shape. This is A isolated, or Ra. This is initial. This is middle, and this is final. This is Ra, sorry. This is Ra isolated. This is Ra initial. This is Ra in the middle, and this is Ra final. So you see, this letter has two shapes. This shape, or these letters, they have these two shapes, and there are these two shapes, right? So isolated and initial is just same. Middle and final is another shape. So these two letters, they have these two shapes. I remember we said this circle is not just like a simple circle. You see the way it is, it's drawn, right? Are we together, guys?
Yes.
So do you see these
Yeah.
changes? Minor. Where is minor?
Here.
Do you see the changes here?
Yes, yes.
Minor, how comes you just log in and you disappeared in the first session before we went for break?
My microphone had an issue that time.
But you never raised that even in the chat. You never raised. I remember Ramadan said he had some problem with his mics, and finally he fixed. Minor. Minor.
He says the mic has issues.
Okay, good. So, Ahmad. Ahmad. Shah.
Yes.
Do you see this difference?
Yes.
Farhaz.
Yes, I see the difference.
Okay, good. So these are the other two letters. So far we have three letters, yeah, A and Ra, that change the shapes. Good. Let's see the other groups here. Let's see Fa and Qa. Do you see any change in Fa and Qa from initial, middle, final, and isolated? Fa and Qa. Is there any change in the shapes?
No.
No, that's right, Muniru. Ka. Now Ka is among the letters that change their shapes. You see, this is Ka initial, this is Ka middle, this is final, Ka final, and this is Ka isolated. So in that case, Ka has two shapes. This is Ka initial. This is Ka in the middle. This is, sorry. This is Ka final, and this is Ka isolated. So we have these two shapes, and there are these two shapes. Ka initial, this is how we write, and Ka middle. Some people, they write it also this way. That's also fine. But that is in the either middle or initial, right? So let's just see the first one. So this one, these are one shape, and this is another shape. This is one shape, and this is another shape. So in that case, Ka has two shapes: Ka initial, Ka middle, Ka final, and Ka isolated. Adim.
Yes, sir.
Do you see the difference?
So to be honest, I wasn't hearing anything from the beginning. My Wi-Fi was really poor.
So no, just look into this. I'm saying this is Kaf and this is Kaf. Are they different in the shapes, or they're just one and same? If you look at the shapes,
They're different.
yes, that's all we're saying. This is Ka and this is Ka. again, they are different. So ka has two shapes. This is one shape, and this is another shape. So far we have ya, a, ra, and ka for those 4 letters that changed their shapes. Good. Let's see others. Do you see any change in la? This is la initial, this is la middle, this is la final, and this is la isolated. Is there any change?
No, there's no change.
There's no change in la. Ma, this is ma, this is ma, this is ma, this is ma. Is there any change?
No
Where's Joseph?
change.
Yes, there's no change. That's right. Ha again.
There is
Ha.
no change.
Yes, this is ha, this is ha, this is ha, and this is ha. We'll come to discuss this.
No,
Ra
there is
is-
change, sir.
Where? Oh, yes.
In ha.
Thank you. There's change in ha. That's true. This is her initial, and this is her in the middle, and this is her final, right? And this is her isolated. So you see this one here at the end. So ha has changed its shape. Ha in the end is just a simple circle instead of this long whatever. So it is just simple circle. So this is ha, and ha has changed its shape. Now, if you look this one here, this one is another shape. This is the shape of ha. This one can only be at the end. It cannot be at the beginning because already it's closed. How can you put a letter that way? And you assume you want to join
You're breaking.
There's no way. But if you put it
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
okay. Okay. So this shape of ha can only be found at the beginning. But this shape can be somewhere in the beginning, can be so this shape, this shape can only be at the end of a word. This shape can be at the beginning, the middle, but when it comes to final, this is the shape of ha. You cannot say this is a word and I'm ending this word with this ha of that shape. No, ha has this shape at the end. So that's another letter that also changed its shape. Are we together, guys? So far we have how many letters? We have ya, a, ra, ka, and ha that change their shapes. Is that another one?
No.
These
No.
are 4, right? 5. So far we have 5 letters that changed their shapes. Let's see if there are others that will join the list. This is in wa. There's no change in da. There's no change in da. There's no change in ra. There's no change in za. And there's no change in a. So in Arabic, we have 5 letters that change their shapes, or they change their shapes depending on where they are positioned. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
So that is ya, a, ra, ka, and ha. Good. That is one. Secondly, there are letters, or there's a letter that has, there's another letter. For example, which letter is this one? Let's for this ta. Sometimes you can see this one also, it's called ta. This one is called ta. And what is this one?
That's ha.
It's ha. That's right. That's ha at the end, right?
No. Yeah.
So in Arabic, this ta, this one is called ta مفتوحة. It's called تا مفتوحة. تا مفتوحة. تا مفتوحة. And this one is called تا مربوطة. Look the letters that I'm putting dots like ha, مفتوحة. You see, this one is very important for you too, the pronunciation. مفتوحة, مربوطة. This is ha. When I say مفتوحة, this is ha. I'm saying مربوطة, this is ta. So this one is called ta مفتوحة, and this one is called ta مربوطة. Now, ta مفتوحة and ta مربوطة, still is just ta. The pronunciation is pronounced ta. But this ta here can only appear at the end of a word. It's only found at the end of the word. It cannot be somewhere at the beginning. It cannot be somewhere in the middle because it's closed. You see, there's no room for connection. This is just a simple zero, right? It's a simple zero. You know, it depends on how you write. There's no complication. It's just a simple zero, right? It's a simple circle. So this is ta marbuta and ta maftuha. Ta maftuha can be anywhere. Can be at the beginning of a word. This is ta. Can be somewhere in the whatever in the middle. Let me write it again. This is ta, right? Can be somewhere at the end. So this is ta at the beginning, this ta in the middle, and this is ta at the end. And which ta is this one?
مفتوحة.
Ta maftuha. That's right. That's ta maftuha. But ta marbuta can only be at the end of a word. It cannot be at the beginning. It can't be at the beginning. It can only be at the end. Right? It can only be at the end. And again, when it's at the end, and you want to pause there when you're reading, you pronounce like ha. You say maftuha, marbuta. You see when I said maftuha, this ha is like ta marbuta. I mean, yes. When I say ta marbuta, this one is the end. Maftuha, let me write this one in Arabic. You say maftuha, maftuha, right? You say maftuha. What is this letter here?
Ta marbuta.
Yes, مفتوحة. When you say مربوطة, what is the last letter here? Huh?
Ha. Ta marbuta.
Ta marbuta, yes. You give it 2 dots. You give it 2 dots, it becomes ta marbuta. You drop the dot, it becomes ha, right? But now this is ta marbuta. Now when you are pronouncing this, you say maftuha, marbuta, ha, ha. You are pronouncing ha because ta marbuta at the end is pronounced like ha at the end. You say marbuta, maftuha. So ta has these 2 shapes. One always appears at the end. Ta marbuta in what? So ta marbuta. Are we together, guys?
Yes, sir.
Good. Now that is all the 28 letters in the different positions and the pronunciations. We are done with the letters, the 28 letters, right? And remember we said letters can be joined together, right? Sorry. Remember we said letters can be joined together. For example, if I may to write your name, let me write like Ahmed. This is A, this is Ha, this is Ma, and this is Da. You see how these letters are joined together. This is Ahmed. This is A, and this is Ha, and this is Ma, and this is Da. You see letters are joined together. Ali, this is Ali, this is Lam, and this is Ya. You see this is Ya at the final. This is A, this is La, and this is Ya. So these three letters are joined together, they form that name Ali. Let's see Muhammad, for example. Muhammad, that is Ma, that is Ha, this is another Ma, this is Da. So this is Ma, Ha, another Ma, and Da joined together. So this is plus this, plus this, plus this will form that name Ahmed. Sharif, you see Sharif, that is Sha, right? The first one is Sha, and then there's Ra, then there's Ya, then there's Fa. When you join together, that's what you get, Sharif. See, this is Sha plus Ra plus Ya plus Fa will give you this name, Sharif. Sharif. Adim. Adim?
Yes.
So your name is A plus Da plus Ya plus Ma. So it becomes Adim. You see? Adim. It becomes Adim. Are we together?
Yes.
So that is how you join letters. But there are 6 letters that always remain isolated when they are joined to letters after them. You see these 6 letters: 1, Wa, Da, Da, Ra, Za, and A. You see this initial, it just looks like isolated. You see these letters are just left the way they are. They cannot be joined with any other letters after them. You see here. Here it's possible. You see this one is joined before it's joined, this one is joined before it. But you see after them, they cannot be joined with any other letter. That's why when we're writing the name Adim, for example, Adim, A, Da, Ya, and Mim. You see this is A. We cannot join A with Da. We cannot join Da with Ya. They always remain isolated when there are letters after them. Is that one captured? Is it clear?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
If you are to write Ahmed, for example, you see this is A. Why can't we join this with this? This one can never be joined with any other letter after it. But again, look, these 3, they are joined, right? These 3 are joined. I can see Aliyah, for example, Aliyah. You see, this is A and this is A. Why don't we join Alif with Lam? It is impossible. This one always remains isolated after it. This is La, this is Ya, Aliyah. What is the last letter here? Huh?
Ta marbuta.
Yes, this is Ta marbuta, Aliyah. That's why at the end is pronounced like Ha. That's if you are to pause there, but if you continue reading, you will pronounce it. For example, Sharif. This is Sha, and this is Ra. You see here there's a space because Ra is among the 6 letters that can never be joined with any other letter after that. Sharif, you see, you give a space here. You give a space here, right? Firdausa. You see, this is Ra, this is Fa, and this is Ra. Ra cannot be joined with Da. Da cannot be joined with Wa. Wa cannot be joined with Sa. All these 3 letters, they remain isolated after they cannot be joined directly with another letter. Firdausa. You see? Firdausa. Right? Hamdi, for example. That's just Hamdi. Right with yeah. This is the, then nothing can be joined with any other letter. Are we together? So
Yes.
these 6 letters, I don't know whether you call them wireless or whatever, but you can't join with any other letter after them, right? Musa, for example, you are to write Musa. You see, this is wa. It cannot be joined with sa. You need to give a space here. Ahmad, if you try to Ahmad, for example, or Imad, you see this is a, and this is ma, and this is a, and this is ta. This one must remain isolated, a space. You give a small space there because it cannot be joined with any other letter after that, right? Joseph, I want you to write your name in Arabic. You know, Joseph is Yusuf in Arabic. Do you know that?
Yeah, it's Yusuf in Arabic, yeah.
Now write Yusuf. I want you to write Yusuf. Let me allow you to annotate. Let me enable. I want you to write Yusuf. Yusuf.
You want me to write it on the text or?
Yes, yes.
I don't have the Arabic keyboard, so I don't know how I'm going to write it. I write it with the normal one, the translated one.
Which
The
one?
direct. You see now before, okay, first you have the second column. Yeah, so I use those letters.
Yes, use the Arabic alphabet letters to write your name.
Okay, so. And let everyone practices, because everybody will write his name or her name on the screen.
So you haven't enabled the pen in the screen.
Okay, let me do. Enable annotation. Yes, I did now. Is it fine? Yusuf, Joseph.
Sir.
I want you to write on the screen here.
Okay, let me write it on the screen. But how do I reach to the pen? I don't know how to do that.
Well, can somebody guide?
The pen is on the screen. It's on your screen.
Well, I can't see it.
Go to view options, annotate, and then there's this thing that says draw.
Okay. So
the view options on the shared screen.
I've seen it. Thank you. It's supposed to be like this. I don't know if is it correct. Yeah, I don't know if I've done it well.
Well, what's the first letter?
Well, the first one is it's Y.
What is why in Arabic now?
Not why, but like
What is why in Arabic?
why in Arabic? Is it yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. Then
So yeah, now yeah, is this okay? Apart from the shape, what else? What else does yeah has or have?
apart from the shape, okay. Yeah, also has it also has in it as well, isn't it?
Ah. Does it have dots?
Yeah, it has dots. Yeah.
So why have a dot now?
Yeah, here. Look, son. You see it?
Dot it. Put 2 dots.
Okay. Like that?
Where? Okay. Huh? The year.
You said I put 2 dots on the year.
Where is the year now?
It's here.
No, yeah, is this the beginning here? This is yeah.
Okay.
This is yeah. You know, all this cannot be yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's only this one.
So in Arabic we write it backwards, isn't it?
No, we write it
because if
right
this
to
is
left.
yeah, towards the left.
My friend, you write it from Arabic is written from right to left.
From right to left. Okay.
So this is ya, this is wa, this is sa, this is fa. This one should have 1 dot and this one should have 2 dots. So Yusuf.
Okay.
So
Yes.
this is how you write Yusuf. Sorry. You made the writing, but only that you forgot. You see? So this is the. Otherwise, this one in Arabic, it can be ba, it can be ta, it can be na, it can be fa. You see?
Oh, there should be 2 dots here.
Somebody can say nusuf, somebody can say tusuf, another one can say busuf, another one can say yusuf, thu. So it can be anything. So when you put 2 dots here, that means this is only ya and cannot be any other letter. Now this one has 1 dot because it's fa.
Okay.
This is fa now. There's another letter looks like this with 2 dots. Which one is that? Which one is that one? That is qa, right? That is qa. Now this is Yusuf. Good. This is Yusuf. That's how you write your name. You see the way letters are going in Arabic. This is, by the way, Joseph, why do we separate this from this? Why don't we join these 2? The way we did these 2 and these 2. Why do we give a space here?
I'm not sure, sir. I don't know.
Can somebody, who knows that one? You just explained that a while ago.
Because wow is an isolated letter.
Yes, we said a wow is here. Actually, is the first letter. Joseph, we said wa, da, ra, za, and a cannot be connected or cannot be joined with any other letter after them, right?
Yeah.
So this one here, you join here, but here it's impossible. Da is also same. Da, ra, za, and a is same. Good. Good. Riaga. Where is Riaga?
Here.
Riaga, I want you to write your name here. On the screen.
I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm a bit stuck because of
Why? With the ga, G.
yeah.
Well, G doesn't, we don't have G in Arabic, so probably the nearest one is like a Gha, right? It's like Gha. So you write, you push it to the nearest letter that is closer to it. Some people, they push it to Ja. So whichever. But I think the Gha, the first one is closer. Mhm.
Mhm.
Mhm. Now, Riaga. Which letter
Yes.
is this one? Which letter is this one? This is Ra, right?
Yeah.
And this one is?
It's supposed to be like
Which letter of this shape has two dots in Arabic below? It's only one letter.
yeah.
Which one is that? Eh? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And this one?
Alif. Ah.
Now, why have you separated this from here? Why did you separate these two? Mhm. Okay. Now you almost now in Arabic riaga. Riaga.
Yes.
Let's see, this is how your name is Riaga, right? Now this one here, this is a letter, and this is a letter, and this is a letter in Arabic. This is three letters. This is Ya, and this is Ba, and this is Alif. There's no Ba in your name. Now, any shape that you put in Arabic amounts to a letter. So if you have to put Ya with Alif, that shape. If you put somewhere there, this is another letter. So Riaga, this is how you write a name. This is Ra, Ya, Gha, and Alif joined together, they give you the name Riaga. And again, if I may ask, Riaga, why do we separate this from this?
Because you said that it's an isolated letter.
It cannot be joined directly with another letter after it. Ra, A is also same. Those are 6 letters. Wa, Da, Da, Ra, Za, and A are 6 letters that cannot be joined with any other letter after them. Good. Good. Where is Farhaz? Farhaz?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Huh? What is your other name, Farhaz?
Yes.
What is the other name? Farhaz what?
Amin.
Amin, okay. Write your name in Arabic now.
Okay, let me try.
Yes.
I think it's that way.
Far?
Far,
What?
and then Farhaz.
What is this one?
Ha. And then Za.
Well, why do you separate this?
Thought they can't be connected.
Well, we said after and not before. You see, this Ra is
Oh.
connected after, but
Yes.
it's disconnected. I mean, it's connected before, but it's disconnected after, right?
Yes.
So join this with this. How you join how with Zah.
This.
Farhaz. And where is the alif? Because there is a Farhaz. Okay, that's right. Farhaz. And then make sure you circle the ha properly, right? Otherwise, this looks like this is a letter and this is a letter. This looks like two letters. Make sure that you enclose that ha, right? That's it.
So this is ha.
This is ha, yes. But this one is a letter and this is a letter. This looks like two different letters. Somebody
Okay.
Yes. So now you are writing ha, make sure it is closed. Put it that way.
Okay.
Good. Amin again is Arif Minga Amin. You say Amin. See, Amin. What is this sign here? What do you call it, this one? Who can tell us what it is?
Hamza.
Hamza, that's right. You said this one is called Hamza. So for Haz Amin, this is how you write. Yeah, no. Who else? Let me see. I want somebody else to try that. Maina.
Yes, sir.
What's your name in Arabic? Maina.
Yes, Jonathan. It's a swap video and shared screen.
Sorry?
How do I get the pen? Is it the swap video and shared screen?
Can somebody guide him, please?
View option from the lecture screen. Annotate. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go to view options from Ahmed Sharawi's screen. So yeah, and then you go to annotate, and then draw.
Yes, Maina. Have you managed?
At the top right, view. In the top.
Oh no! In the middle.
Where it's written you're viewing Ahmed Sharawi's screen. And then there's view options on the right side. Right?
I'm not full.
My friend, you are guided. Follow the guidance.
The middle of the screen, top middle part.
Okay, yeah.
You see the green part?
Yeah.
Fine. And then on the right, there is view options with the downward facing arrow. You just click there. Are you there?
Yeah, and then
Yeah, exactly. I didn't even know. Thank you for this.
Now, right, Maina. You managed.
I think that's it.
Well, what is this one?
Did. Because I realized there's no air, so I put IY. Did.
Oh, there's no IY in Arabic, my friend. What is this one? And what are this?
No, the first one is T.
Huh?
And then with the two dots up there it becomes T.
Are you writing Maina or you are writing something else?
No, Ted.
Ted.
Yeah.
Oh, Ted. Now, which letter is this one?
T.
What is T in Arabic? What is the letter that represents T in Arabic?
Ta.
Now, and this is?
That's E.
What is D in Arabic?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, which shape of this one? What is the name of this ta?
That's T.
Now, ta has two. That we have two tas in Arabic. Two. I mean, there's one ta, but with two shapes, and they are given two different names. Which one are these two? Can somebody help?
The isolated one, and then there's the one that has like a B. The symbol is a B.
There's this ta and there's this ta. What is the name of this one here? We gave it a name. Joseph.
Yes, sir.
What is the name of this ta? Yes, Adim.
Yes.
What is the name of this ta?
It's ta.
Ta, yes, but we gave it a name. And this one here?
This one is ta marbuta or something.
Which one now? First or two? One
The
or two?
down one.
It's ta marbuta, that's right. And this one is called?
Ta.
It's ta also,
Ta.
yes, but it has, we give it another name.
Ta maftuha.
Yes, that's ta maftuha. Maina. This one is called ta marbuta and this one is ta maftuha. Now, this one we said it only appears at the end. It can never be at the beginning of a word. Right? This one can never be at the beginning of it. So if you are to begin with, if your name to begin with ta, this is the ta. This one can be somewhere in the middle, can be initial, can be final, can be whatever. But this one is only found at the end. So there is no way you can begin this one. There is no way this one can be at the beginning of a word. Now your name begins with this one. And again, Ted, if I may ask, this letter you gave it 2 dots above and 2 dots below. So what is the name of this? Because there is no letter in Arabic has dots on both sides.
Those dots down there was for the I/Y.
And this one?
And that one I can't explain.
Well, this one.
Because I saw it on the ta, that first one.
You ta already, you already gave ta 2 dots above here. Already 2 dots here. So there is no letter in Arabic that has dot on both sides, right? That's had a dot. And remember, we said your name can be either Ted. This is how you write your name. Because D, it is T-E-D. D is the. And this one is ta. Now this one, we assume that this one is Y. We assume that this one is Y. That's why we write Ted. Ted, right? Mina could be like Ted. Mina could be like right? Mina could be like this, because this is mine. This is ma, which is M, and this is ya, which is either I or Y. and this is na, this is like a. So Maina, this is how you write your name. Maina.
Is it possible, sir, to write it while using the Hamza letter?
Which one?
Like to write Maina with Hamza? Is it possible?
At the end.
Not the E part, and then you.
Oh, no, Hamza is just pronounced like ya. I mean, it's pronounced like a. So if you write Hamza, it's like ma. It becomes ma'ina. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Which is not. So this is minor, for example. That's what we are right, minor. Joseph, we said it's Yusuf. Right? So which is other name? Yes, what is this? Muniru.
Yes.
I want you to write your name in Arabic.
Okay.
Are you done, Muniru?
Yes.
Well, this is Munir.
Yes. The first one is mim, and then noon, and then ya, and then ra.
Now, where are the dots of the air?
They are there, but they are faint because of the color of the pen. Let me change the color of the pen.
Change the color. This one you can't see anything. Okay, that's Munir. Muniru, Munir. Muniru, Munira. Okay.
Yes, yes. My grandparents couldn't say Munir, so they added the vowel U at the end, but it's Munir.
Munira. So in Arabic, it's supposed to be Munira.
No, that's my father's name, not mine.
Oh, Munir. Okay.
Yeah, it's Munir.
Oh,
My African grandparents couldn't say Munir, so they said Munir.
Okay, Munir. Okay. Good. Yes, Ruwaida? That is City, eh?
Yes.
Is City your name?
Yes.
Okay, City Munir. Okay. Do you have any Egyptian background?
I don't know. I don't know.
Because City, it's the Egyptians that normally use City.
Yes, I know somewhere in my ancestry we do have some Arab, but I don't know where they are from. I really don't know much about them.
Okay. Yes, Ruwaida? That's good.
Yes.
Ruwaida, write yours. Ruwaida? Where's Roida? Yes, Imad. Shah.
Yes.
Imad, try yours.
Okay. I think that's it.
Okay, this is Imad.
Yes.
What is this animal here? What is this animal here, Imad?
Is it Ain?
So, but, well, is there a letter that faces this way only without any other whatever here? And again, why do you isolate Ain from Mim?
I didn't mean to. It's the mouse.
So you need to join this one. Yes, so that is Imad now, yes. You see, this is Ain when it has this part, not only the first part. You cannot say this is Ain unless you show this part, right? And how do you write Shah? How do you write Shah?
I don't know.
That one is easier than Imad. Shah. Shah. Huh? It is Shim, Alif, and Ha. That's it. That is Shah. It is Shah, Alif, and Ha.
Yeah.
That is Shah. That's Imad. And that's Shah. Good. So all this is just to practice how the letters are joined together, which one are always isolated, left isolated, which one change shapes, and the rest. So make sure you remember the letters that change their shapes. We said there are 5 letters. Ya is one of them. Ain and Ra is another one. Ka is another one. And Ha is the last letter that change their shapes. Or change its shape. Remember we said Ta. This Ta is called Ta Maftuha, and this one we said is called Ta Mabuta. And again, remember the letters that we say we might see them pronounced similarly, but they're totally different, like Ha and Ha, A and A, Qa and Ka, Sa, Sha, Wa, Ta, Dha, Tha, and the rest. So we said those ones, we pronounce them similarly because a number of them are not in our mother tongue. And you may also remember these 6 letters that we said they cannot be joined with any other letter after them, but before them is possible. We also mentioned Hamza and Lam Alif. We said this one is, if you look this Hamza here, this is I will say this Hamza, you see this one Hamza, it's here above, sometimes it's below, sometimes can be somewhere in the middle, and sometimes can stand alone. But in all cases, it's pronounced like ah. This is Uridu, Ustad, Ahmed, ah. So there's no change. This one is Ibrahim, Ismail. This is Ma'il, Sa'iq, Mi'ah, Ja'a, Ma. So still, whether it is above a letter, or whether it is just whether it is associated with a letter or stands alone, it's always pronounced a, like alif or hamza. So is that understood and clear? This one is the alpha, the traditional way of putting them in order. You see this one? This is how they are put in order, but we opted to do to group them as per their shapes, so that when you see group one letter, you remember the other four. When you see ja, you remember there's ha, dotless ha, and there's ha, which has a dot above. When you see sa, you remember it has a sister or a brother called sha with 3 dots. When you see sa, you remember there's da with a dot and the rest. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes.
Yes.
And also you remember we said these alphabets constitute 50% of your course. You need to master the alphabet before doing anything else. Now we are done with the 28 consonants. The next thing the next move is to go to vowels, and then from there, actually, when we discuss vowels, we discuss also how to read words, sentences, and the rest. But you cannot read a word before you recognize the letters. For example, if I write this, what is the first letter here?
Da.
Dal.
And this one?
Dal. Ha.
Ha. And this one?
Ba.
Ba.
Ba. Now, for you to read this word, you need to recognize the letters first. If you don't know this is da, if you don't know this is ha, if you don't know this is ba, there's no way you can read this word, right? That's why we're emphasizing that you go through the letters, you write the letters in their different shapes, and you pronounce them. You have a whole week, by the way, from today to next Saturday. If that is a whole week, I'm sure you have some other business to do or some other things to do, but that one does not stop you revising this. You need to revise this until you get the pronunciations right, and you can also you are able to write the letters. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Ted, Mina.
Yes, sir.
Where is Joseph?
Yes, sir.
I want you to go through to master the letters before next Saturday. On Saturday, everybody. Remember, we said, I don't know why I forgot this morning. Every class, there's a recap before we begin to discuss the other new things. So in our next class, everybody will pronounce the letters, and everybody will write the letters. So prepare yourself for that recap, because we don't want to move ahead before we are done with the letters, because otherwise we won't be moving to the right direction. So we want to have the letters, we want to master the letters. Then after that, we go to the next level. Try to write your names in Arabic. Anything that you see or anything that comes into your mind, write it in Arabic, because you know the alphabets, right? You know the alphabets, and for those letters, the Latin letters that do not exist in Arabic, still you can you take it to the nearest letter that is found in Arabic. If it's P, you take it to B. If it is V, you take it to Fa or F. If it is Cha, you take it to Sha, and the rest. Is that clear to everybody?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Anything you want to ask before we move?
So how are you going to check the attendance?
Well, I have the names here. I will call out the names and you respond.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Sir, can you share this document?
Yeah, I will send to the class rep, then you will share. And I think it is also, if you go to the Blackboard, I don't know whether these guys, the IT guys, whether they, what is it called?
Updated.
Huh?
Well, they updated something.
Yes. Whether they rolled over the content, because we normally request for them to roll over, because it's the same thing that we taught in the previous semester. But I will ask them, in case you go to the Blackboard, you look for a roll over content. So you click. In case they did not roll over, I will email them, and perhaps by Monday or you will get. But it's nonetheless, I will share. I will send to the class rep. I will then send to and he will share it probably through the what's called the WhatsApp, or he can email you avail your emails. But I will send that today immediately right now after we finish the class. So
is there a WhatsApp group?
Yes, there is.
And maybe
Where is the class president?
Yeah, let's change the chat right now. Sorry.
Yes.
I'm
Saeed
Yes,
is the class president.
I'm going to share.
Yes, please. Yeah, okay.
Let's share the link, Saeed, so that they
Join.
join us.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else, guys? Okay. In case you do not understand, you have the right to say, I have not understood. I will repeat until you understand it. But don't feel shy. You should not be. Don't feel shy of saying that one is not clear or I haven't understood, because you ought to understand everything that we discuss. Because finally there's exam. Yes, Ruwaida?
I have a question. When you're reading, how do you know which vowels to use?
Well, we will discuss that in our next class. When we are at the vowel session, that's when we'll discuss how to read, how to vowel.
Oh, all right, thank you.
I have a question.
Yes, please, Muniro.
When you're, let's say, reading or writing a name that has an I, how do you know if it won't have the letter ya next to it or not? Like, for example, my name Siti. How? Because I just guessed that it will be a sa and a ta, and I didn't put the ya after the sa and the ta. How can you know that there's a ya after that or not?
Well, yeah, sometimes the ya and the I and the a and the e and the u in Arabic, they represent vowels. They represent vowels sometimes. For example, if you are to say, for example, your name like city, the I sometimes it represent a vowel called kasra, which is e, and that one we will discuss in our next class. So you have two options. You can either write ya, city, ct, right? You can either write ct, or you can just put city, assuming that this ya will be kasra, and this I mean the I and I here will also be kasra. So you have those options, but we'll discuss that when we're discussing the vowels, right?
Okay, thank you.
Because it's through vowels, you will know how a word is pronounced, or how you can read a word. But again, I want to emphasize the importance of the alphabet. Please, by next class, make sure you have mastered with the letters in their different positions, because I will be writing words and ask you to identify the letters. I will ask you to identify the letters. For example, I can write this one and ask you which are these letters that constitute. You see, these now are 3 letters, 1, 2, 3. Right? This is ka, initial, and this is fa, and this is ya, final. So this is what you need. This would make sure you write, just write anything and identify whether that is a letter or it is not, and identify which letter is that in Arabic. So by next class, because we spent like two sessions, like 6 hours in discussing alphabets. So we need to move next ahead. But again, for us to move ahead and for us to read words and sentences, we need to understand the pronunciation, the shapes, and the different shapes of these letters. Is that agreed?
Yes.
Okay. So by next class, promise that you are done with the letters and we move ahead. And in our first class, we agreed that everybody be committed, everybody be serious, and we aim to achieve the expected expectations. Good. Anything else you want to ask before we set off?
Yes, sir. Just a confirmation. You said when we started that we'll be having a cut after every 3 weeks. Is that still the case? Are we still having a cut next week or not?
Not because we haven't discussed the vowels. It's when we are done with the vowels, we will have a cut. So probably we'll postpone to week 4. Is that in order?
Okay.
Yes, we'll postpone that one because we need to finish the alphabet, the vowels, and all those. So whenever we are done with this, it's when we'll have quiz 1. So. Anything else? Okay, now let me go to the attendance. Abdul Goulet. Ahmed Abdurrahman Sharif.
Present. Sir, I'm present.
Yes.
Okay.
Firdaus Noor.
Present.
Adim.
Present.
Alia Muhammad. Mahmoud, sorry.
Present.
Muhammad Abdurrahman Ahmed.
Present.
Hamdi Farah. Where is Hamdi? Mus'ab Ismail. Ted Baina. Shabir. Aisha Sharif. Asiya.
Present.
Joseph.
Present, sir.
Siti Munir.
Present.
Saeed Musa.
Present.
Farhaz Amin.
Present.
Ramadan Al Hilal.
Present.
Diaga.
Present, sir.
Ruwaida.
Present.
Imad Shah.
Present.
Is there somebody's name is not mentioned? Is there someone who was not had his or her name? Okay. Anything else, guys? Because we're about to end the class. Anyone with any concerns, any whatever? Okay, that's good. So let's please work hard. Let's revise properly. Let's come to class early. Mina.
Yes, yes, sir.
Make sure you guys, the guys with mic problem, make sure you fix, because you have a whole week to do to fix any problem, so that when we get to class, and make sure you get to class early, so that you don't miss. You start.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay, so that is our today's class. Unless there's anything you want to ask, we end the class. So see you next week.
Sir,
Yes, Sharif.
I'm having a mic issue and there's an internet connections. I was wondering if you have taken my attendance.
Who is that one?
It's Ahmed Sharif.
Let me see. Yes, Ahmed.
Sharif Abdurrahman.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Okay, see you guys. Bye.
Bye, sir.
جزاك الله خير.